G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We just had the first cash cups of the new season and man, they did not disappoint. We have a lot to talk about. We have hackers on pretty much every single region playing the entire 3 hours of the cash cup out. They're now still on the leaderboards like almost 24 hours later, despite blatantly hacking. And you guys know me, in the past, I've defended Fortnite's anti-cheat. I still think it is one of the best anti-cheats out there. If you look at Warzone or Apex Legends right now, things are so much worse. But in these tournaments, something needs to happen. These are having massive effects. We had Muzz potentially about to place in his first ever cash cup on EU. Because the hacker was in his lobby, it forced Jerky, the FNCS winner, to key Muzz. This created a bunch of drama. It's not just the hacker, it's who they eliminate in the process and how they just completely ruin tournaments. Even worse, this hacker was impersonating Guild Anas, a top tier pro who could now have his reputation ruined because some people believe this is the real Anas. And not only that, we also had the fact that this hacker DM'd Anas saying they were going to impersonate him, saying they were going to hack. Anas put this on social media and the player still wasn't banned in time. Like, this is a topic we have to talk about, but it's not all negative. We had some big positives. We had Mongraal absolutely pop off in the cash cup, literally just prove everyone wrong who's been saying that he's washed. And honestly, for me, made a big statement that he needs to find a good trio, that he deserves a good trio, and he's definitely grinding the game again. We obviously had Tayson yet again win another EU cash cup, honestly on one of the most dominant runs I think we've almost ever seen from a pro. So there's a lot to talk about. Don't want to spoil it all now. Let's jump into it. Now, I've talked about hackers in the past, but I usually try to blur out their name. I don't want to give them any attention because that's usually what they're doing it for. But this one's a different case, right? There was two main hackers today, or potential hackers, that were causing issues. The first one on NA West was a little bit different. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to show them because this one was a little bit less clear. You had big pros and making tweets and posting clips of the person having really good aim, really good tracking. But again, it was nothing completely aimbot, right? So that's what I want to draw the distinction. You got to remember, I don't want to ruin people's careers or start these witch hunts on people just because they haven't placed before and then all of a sudden they do well in a cash cup and they have really good aim. Again, a lot of the times they might be hacking, they might be soft aiming. People were saying that it was weird that this guy was ADSing really close in the box, which is apparently a sign of using aimbot or Chrono Zen. But again, I don't know. I don't know anything about hacking or cheating. But remember, Dubs had a lot of people saying that he was 100% hacking during World Cup. Like, a good chunk of the community thought he was hacking until Epic came out and conclusively proved that he wasn't. So you've got to be careful unless it's 100% clear. But this one on EU was 100% clear. This player is straight up jumping around, no-scoping people through walls, getting 20 bombs every game, like so clearly aimbotting and hacking. And you would think that that would take Epic, what, maybe 1-2 games to ban the person, get him out of the tournament? No, this player was able to play the entire tournament out. Not only that, they had their name set as Guild Anas and were impersonating one of the biggest pros in the scene, potentially tarnishing or ruining their reputation. Luckily, most people were smart enough to figure out that Guild Anas is probably not just randomly aimbotting and hacking in a cash cup one day, but a lot of kids did believe it was actually Anas, which is very scary, but it's more reason why Epic needs to act quickly and get these people out of tournaments. The person's been taken off the leaderboard now, they're not going to get their earnings, but they've still had an effect on the tournament. Going into the last game, they made it through the whole tournament. You had Muzz needing about 10 points to get in his final game to make money, and the hacker was in the game. Muzz tried to hide, thought, hey, I'll just avoid the hacker, I'll just try to get my free placement. And then you had Trulex W key him. And again, I don't want to send any hate towards Trulex. My man's an FNCS champion. He's obviously a great player. He saw a hacker in the lobby and thought, hey, I couldn't be bothered playing this out. I'm just going to run at everyone I can see. And if I die to the hacker, I die to the hacker. Unfortunately, he ran into Muzz, killed Muzz. Muzz was frustrated, took to social media. There was a bit of beef. Again, Muzz ended up apologizing. He was just upset. But it just shows that these hackers are ruining games. They're ruining tournaments. You had Muzz, who's just traveled from OCE to NA East and was potentially going to place in money on his first ever EU cash cup on almost 100 ping. That's a really big deal. It should not take this long. And again, even Anas went to social media with a tweet. He ended up actually posting a photo of a DM from the hacker saying, or someone someone who knew the hacker. Tomorrow you will be top 1 in the cash cup. A cheater will put your name and be top 1 because you laughed at Morata and the cheater is Spanish. So if you don't get what's going on there, Anas apparently during the Euros made some tweets making fun or having a laugh when Spain got knocked out. This person's obviously taken a huge offense that they now want to potentially ruin his career or tarnish his name by hacking and changing the name. Again, I don't want to go too much into that. That is just a whole nother level of crazy. It just means that Epic needs to take a stance even quicker. Like, I get that Fortnite has a really good anti-cheat, and I'll always argue that. I've been playing this game since season 2, so a very long time. I have never once in my life ran into a single hacker, and most people I know haven't. I can go play Warzone or Apex Legends for a day, and I'm gonna run into multiple hackers. So the anti-cheat is clearly very good in the average game, but when it comes to these cash cups, there needs to be someone at Epic on standby, ready to ban people. Like I said, the NA West situation, a little bit different. I'm not saying as soon as someone hits a few good shots and they haven't placed before, ban them. No, I'm talking when a guy is literally just jumping and no-scoping through mountains and killing the whole lobby. You shouldn't need more evidence than that. Just ban them, get them out of the tournament, and hopefully they haven't eliminated anyone that's too important or haven't ruined someone's first tournament where they're doing well. I know they're at least going to ruin some people's games, but if we can minimize that, it's better. They shouldn't make it through an entire 3-hour tournament. I don't like to say this too much. I sound like a Karen. It's just not good enough. That's pretty much just my whole stance on this situation. It's not all bad news and negativity. The tournament overall was really, really fun to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch EU because now it's starting at literally 11 p.m. my time, but I did get up for NA East and NA West. But after I woke up right at the very end of EU, and I saw these tweets from Mongraal. Mongraal tweeted out, "That game is Fortnite history." And it had almost 29,000 likes. I was like, okay, I gotta see what this is. I went back and I watched Mongraal's second last game, and man, this is like World Cup Mongraal. This was the moment I've been waiting for. I've been saying for a couple of seasons now that, yeah, Mongraal hasn't been doing the best. Everyone keeps asking, is he washed? Can he get better again? I was like, look, it just looks to me like he's unmotivated, but he says he's motivated again. I'm sure he's grinding. And man, did Mongraal prove it today. Before I talk about the rest of the Cash Cup, let me just show you this endgame. You probably already saw it, but I'm sure you're not too upset to watch it again because this was disgusting.
I'm so good. Oh my! You still baited so hard, kid. That's no one would ever do that except for me. Okay, sure. I swear on anything! What the
That is one of the best clips I've seen in quite a while. He gets so many eliminations, and you have to notice as well. First, the stair flip, right? Edits the stair, resets the stair instantly to bait that guy's shot, and then goes for the shot. Like he said, no one would try that but him. I have not seen someone pull off a play like that. I don't even know the last time I've seen someone bait the stair at it, let alone in endgame of the second last game to place in money. Then that last player, the fight to win, if you guys didn't notice, he was on 5 health. One more tick and he would have died, and he hits the edit and the shot. Like, it just felt so good to see Mongraal back on top. But of course, everything with Fortnite, the next game, he got headshot sniped on spawn and went down in 93rd. But he finished in 11th on 155 points, less than 30 points behind behind Tayson in first. When you think a Victory Royale is worth 30 points, he very well could have won this EU Cash Cup. Like, I know it's Fortnite and maybe he didn't win the next game, but he already had 3 wins that tournament. 8 games, 3 wins. If he won another game, I mean, he literally won. If you discount that last game, he won almost half of his games. He didn't even need the win. He could have got like a few elims in a top 5. So Mongraal absolutely popped off. It was fantastic. He even tweeted out, and I think this sums it up perfectly. He said, best Cash Cup I've ever played, regardless of the placement. So happy how I've changed in the past couple months. My work ethic, mentality, attitude, and overall personality is so much better than it used to be. And from watching the stream, going back and watching the VODs and talking to people today in my stream, I'd have to agree. He is clearly taking the game so much more seriously. And that's what I love to see, because it's not all about Cash Cups. It's about FNCS. And I feel like this was the statement and this was the performance Mongraal needed to really prove to people that he wasn't just talking. He wasn't just saying that he's playing differently or he's trying more or he's trying to play more placement heavy. He's not just W King. He's actually working on becoming a better player. And I think this highlighted that perfectly. He streamed the whole thing too. Do you know how hard it is to place in solos these days while streaming as well? So all I can say is Mongraal is definitely back in a big way. Could have potentially won the EU Cash Cup. Still came 11th overall. But when you think last couple of seasons, he's been placing like outside the top 500 and top 1,000. And then in FNCS, he didn't make it to round 3 most weeks. Like, this is a ridiculous performance boost. And it shows that when people start calling people washed, or he's washed and he's not good anymore, or he's not going to be good anymore, sometimes players who've been around since the beginning of Fortnite just need a bit of a break and a couple seasons to chill, and they can come back this strong. I hope it wasn't a once-off, and I don't think it was. I just hope that Mongraal can now like catapult this into trios, because he needs to find a good trios, because no amount of solo Cash Cups or trio Cash Cups is going to be enough. I feel like to keep Mongraal motivated and to keep him like end this point, he needs to find a solid trio. Running the rest of the EU leaderboard, I mean, absolutely no surprise to see Falcon Tayson on top, 183 points, 8 matches, 2 wins. Like, this guy is on something else right now. Literally cannot place outside the top 10 or top 5 basically in anything. He's now on the back of a 3rd in trio FNCS, I think a 6th in DreamHack Cash Cup Extra, a 2nd in DreamHack, a 1st in FNCS solos, now a 1st in the first Cash Cup of the season. Like, Tayson right now is unstoppable. This is looking absolutely ridiculous. And his last game was a 2 elim 16th and a 4 elim 11th. Those were his last 2 games. So his worst 2 games, other than his 2nd game, were in the last 2. So other than that, he had 14 elim 3rd, a 7 elim win, 10 elim win, 9 elim 3rd. Like, this is just looking ridiculous. The rest of the leaderboard, there's a lot of names you'd expect to see, some new ones again. I know, guys, I'm sorry, when I don't know someone on EU or I don't recognize them as much, I'm not trying to flame them. I'm getting my EU knowledge up. I'm sorry. But there were some big names still up here as well. We had Dittrix, we had Toos, we had Steelix, Merin, we had Uguay back up there, obviously Chapix. Like I said, Mongraal in 11th, we had Kami in 13th. Obviously, a lot of really good players in between that. I'm just focusing on the names that I recognize and I know. But overall, really, really good tournament that was super fun to watch. We did have one NA player. I know I'm kind of hyping up this NA versus EU thing. We had one NA player creep into the top 20, which was Chronic Jays. So big congrats to him. Very solid performance. NA was a different story entirely, and I don't want to make this sound like it's an insult. Again, I don't try to like point people out as not being surprises or players I haven't seen for a while or haven't seen that much of. I do that to hype them up. Like, we have Justice winning it on 184 points, 10 matches played, 3 wins, and then we have Zapixie. Now, I didn't even actually really know who this was until it was in my stream today. Now we have the meme going of his name is Alejandro in my stream, in 2nd on 176, coming off the console track. So big props to him. That's a huge performance, and that's why solo Cash Cups are so good. Players can just pop off out of seemingly nowhere or places that people haven't really seen too much and make a name for themselves. I love to see it. The rest of the leaderboard was a little bit more to be expected. Acorn in 3rd, Tragics in 4th, Dubs in 5th. I mean, Dubs is really playing super consistently right now. I've seen him play in a bunch of the different regions Cash Cups like EU and NA West as well. Placing on NA East, he's come off the back of a good trio FNCS for performance and a good solo FNCS performance. Like, Dubs is really back in a big way. He is playing phenomenally well right now. We have now, I don't know how to say this name, Militolivia. I'm really not sure who that is, sorry. We have Patriot, TK, another ex-console gang, Avery, Quad, Nico. There's a lot of big performances here out of NA. And honestly, the one thing I want to say about all the regions I watched today, solos is looking stacked. This is a good solo meta. With launch pads in the meta right now, the end games are stacked. Even OCE is getting Storm Surge and closeout zones, which I haven't seen since ever in solo cash cups. Like, honestly, looking absolutely ridiculous right now. It really is so fun to watch. And I started saying at the start of the season, maybe I wanted less launch pads, and I don't know, maybe there's a few too many. I would still argue that it might be a little bit more skillful if not everyone can rely on them. But honestly, it's making the game stacked. It's making them fantastic to watch. So if the players are enjoying playing with the launch pad meta, I am more than happy watching it. It is so enjoyable right now. And it is kind of finding a good mix of balancing smart players with aggressive players. And because the solo format is very placement heavy, but you can still drop those big elimination games, honestly, this is the most fun I've had watching a solo cash cup in a really long time. The trio cash cups last week were fantastic. I'm sure they will be this week as well. I'm just really excited for this FNCS meta. I think this is one of the better competitive metas we've ever seen. I'm super hyped. Alright guys, that does it for another video. But hey, if you just finished the video and it's around cash cup time, I'm doing like a 12-13 hour stream today by the time you watch this video, or tomorrow when I'm recording this. I'll be live for EU, NA East, and NA West Trio Cash Cup, doing predictions, going crazy. Gonna have a bingo board for gifted subs, so swing by. It's twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. But yeah, the support right now on the videos has been insane. I think my last 7 videos in a row have all been my best. They're just doing better and better. Honestly, I love you guys so much for that. Thank you. If you liked today's video, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.